guys, welcome to Life Lessons with Lariani. This life lesson is put your ego aside and ask for help. The reason why I say this is because in my last episode, I talked about how transitioning takes time. I want to give a tool that can help you in your season of transition. So for me, I've had maybe now 4 phases, I want to say, of my transition. The first one was enjoying all of this newfound free time that I had. And then it was, what am I doing with my life now that the industry is on shutdown? And then it caused me to start having irregular sleep schedules, which meant falling asleep at 7 a.m. and waking up at 1 in the afternoon. And I felt that in my spirit, I was starting to get frustrated. I was starting to get angry with myself because I was dipping back into an old habit of mine that I thought I kicked off. And so I was like, am I going back and retreating? What's going on? And I tried to do on my own a refresh of my sleep schedule. So that was helping me to transition from 7 a.m. to 5 to 3 to midnight, so that I can start getting into a better sleeping schedule to make myself spiritually feel better, so that I can feel like I can take on the day and be productive. Even though, it's also in the beginning, people were saying, oh, now's the perfect time, you have to do X, Y, and Z. But then other people were saying, well, it's okay, you don't have to develop a new skill during this quarantine. Just make sure you take care of yourself. So first and foremost, take care of yourself. But once you've done that, at least in California, we're in quarantine for another 3 more months. So we kind of have to be doing things with our time, or else we'll come out of quarantine and it'll kind of be a waste of 6-7 months, So, but that's my way of thinking. Everyone has their own. For me, it was I have to get shit done because that's just the type of person that I am. And so I try to do it on my own. And the reason why the lesson is put your ego aside and ask for help is because I didn't want to tell anyone that I was struggling. I didn't want to tell anyone that I was frustrated that I couldn't wake up. I didn't want to let people know that me, the person who's always on top of her ish, is now falling behind and not on top of her stuff. Especially when people look up to me and they're like, oh, you're so inspiring and da-da-da. I'm I wish I could say the same. I was in a period where I wasn't feeling inspired or inspiring myself, and it was frustrating. So I allowed myself to rid myself of any fear of being judged, and so I went to a few close friends of mine, as well as my mom, who either are in California or on the East Coast, so they're 3 hours ahead of me, and I'm hey, 8 a.m. my time, that's 11 a.m. your time. You should, hopefully, I don't know what your sleep schedule is but if you are awake, can you please FaceTime me? Because I am having trouble waking up and I want to fix it. I think the first few times it was kind of they called or they didn't call, but then once I emphasized that I really needed help and that this was something that I wanted to work on, then they started taking it seriously and were kind enough to help me in that transition of fixing my sleep schedule, so therefore I can fix my spirit, fix my mind, fix my mentality, become more positive, and feel like I can take on the day and do all of this work that I had planned on doing. And when I tell you, I am so happy, I am so glad that I was able to kick that old routine. I was able to kick those energies off of me just because I asked for help. I know I couldn't have done it without asking for help. So I am giving you this advice as a tool to help you in your transition so that you can be the best you that you possibly can. Whether it's help with your sleep schedule, whether it's help with accountability, right? Let's say you want to read a chapter a day of a book, then you can tell someone, hey, at 7 p.m. can you text me and see if I've read this chapter? And if I haven't, then I still have 4 more hours or so to read it in that day. Whatever it is that you need help with, whether it's, cooking, right? You have this habit of always going out and eating, and now you want to take this time to learn that new skill of cooking. Then hit someone up and say, hey, If they're like a really close friend of yours, be like, hey, like I want to like practice some different recipes. Like, would you be willing to like try it? Or like I can go and drop it off, or like you can come over, we can keep our 6 feet distance and have like a picnic at the park or whatever it may be. You know, whatever constraints this COVID-19 is having, stay within those boundaries, but do what it is that you can to ask for help so that you can be the best you that you can be. And trust me, if you think that there's no one around you that will not care and love you enough to like be that accountability partner for you, I would ask you to see where that thought is coming from and then reassess to then realize that there is at least one person who is on your corner, who wants to see you do the best that you can. And if you let them know that you're struggling a little bit and being very vulnerable, they're gonna be like, yo, I've been struggling too. I can help you with this. Can you help me with this? And then both of you guys can help each other through this weird time that we're in. But okay, I hope this lesson helps. Comment if you have done this also, or once you do it, let me know like what you were able to work through. But yeah, I wish all of you guys so much love, so much blessings, and we're in this together.